Hi, how are you? Welcome to this video from our podcast channel called Gumball Sports Machine. If this is your first time here, well, if you could go ahead and hit that like, hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. If you like this clip, we go live on Tuesdays and Friday nights. Hopefully there's an edit there and you can catch us live. But here's a segment from our most recent podcast. Like and subscribe, like my OG says. Thank you.
Got some football to talk about, D'Lo.
Lots of football to talk about.
The legal tampering period started Monday. That was yesterday at 9 a.m. in the morning. And boy, did we get a lot of transactions. A lot of players agreed to a lot of deals at a lot of different places. They cannot officially sign until the league year starts, I believe, which is tomorrow, or I think it's tomorrow. I see that tomorrow or next week. I can't remember the exact day. But a lot of deals were agreed to. D'Lo, you and I were kind of talking before the show. We were talking about some of the guys that have signed, some of the guys that haven't signed, some of the teams that were aggressive, some of the teams that weren't as aggressive. What was one of the signings that stood out to you that could really take the team over the top in terms of being able to contend for a Super Bowl?
Well, I really hate to say it because I absolutely hate him. I hate the team. I hate everything about him. And you know where I'm going with it.
Damn right I do.
I know that you know where I'm going with it.
Okay.
And it pisses me off.
Yes, Mike.
But the Kansas City Chiefs getting Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker, is the game changer. They get a run game. You give Patrick Mahomes a run game. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I think it's a big hit on Seattle too, because obviously Zach Charbonnet will be coming off of the injury. You're now expecting him to be back number one, coming off. I think it's an ACL. Then.
Yep.
After he had the ACL, you realize you should have been giving Kenneth Walker 20 touches a game because he's really that good of a back, and then you let him go to a guy that has 3 MVP or Super Bowls, and a bunch of MVPs, and let's go send him over there. Hate it.
What a great
I really do. But I also think that while it does put them back in contention offensively, obviously defensively, they've still got some holes to fix, especially after they traded Trent McDuffie.
That was a rough one, D'Lo. That was a big hit
over to LA in a trade. So I think they still got some holes to fill. But in terms of the offense, they needed a run game so desperately. And the fact that you go out and get the reigning Super Bowl MVP, I think bolsters that offense to a great level.
That was one that stood out to me too. Obviously, if anybody who watches this show, anybody knows me, knows that Patrick Mahomes is my favorite player. And so anything for him to get success and be successful, I root for. So Kenneth Walker, I think, was a huge signing for that team and for him. So, who knows when he's going to be back. I know he's trying to get back by week 1. I don't know how realistic that is. But honestly, D'Lo, the one that stood out to me the most, and again, you hated saying that one. I'm really going to hate saying this one. I'm really going to hate saying this. But I think one of the moves at least that could impact one of these teams the most is Mike Evans to your team, the 49ers. I think them getting a solidified number 1 receiver and giving Brock Purdy that weapon, that safety valve, that is Mike Evans, a veteran in this league who's done it at the highest level for as long as I can remember. And to bring in a guy like that, to mentor Ricky Pearsall. And, who knows what's going to happen with Juwan Jennings. Brandon Ayuk obviously will most likely get traded and will never play another game for the 49ers. And to bring in a guy like Mike Evans, a guy who's been a number 1 receiver at the highest level, a guy who's won a Super Bowl, a guy that's performed in the playoffs, that is a guy that you need, because I think one of the struggles were for the 49ers towards the end of that season, they didn't have anybody that could go get open, D'Lo. They didn't have anybody who, okay, 3rd down at 5. Who are we throwing it to? And the problem was, they're throwing it to a guy that's not a wide receiver. He's very good at catching the ball, but he's not a wide receiver in Christian McCaffrey. And so you can't give the ball to Christian McCaffrey 75 times a game. Because one, obviously we know his injury history, and two, he might just pass out or go unconscious on the field after his 70th touch. So for them to go get Mike Evans and give Brock Purdy that number one receiver, I think that's huge for them. Again, especially in a Kyle Shanahan run offense. As much as I hate the 49ers, D'Lo, and because I'm a Cardinals fan, as much as I hate the 49ers, I have so much respect for Kyle Shanahan and what he could do and what he does as an NFL coach. I think he should have won Coach of the Year this year. I think he should have got a lot more recognition for the job that he did with that team. But to give him Mike Evans and to obviously bring in Mike Evans to offense that already has Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey and Ricky Pearsall, who's going to be a year 3 receiver who should be making that jump, that kind of terrifies me. Now, are they the best team in the NFC? Obviously not. Are they the best team in the NFC West? Probably not. But again, with that coach, I don't count the 49ers out ever. And hence one of the reasons why they beat the reigning Super Bowl champions in the playoffs this year.
Now, the one thing that I want to specify with that, though, is that San Francisco has this one problem. Injuries. Injuries is that one guy.
We've been for injury problem.
Mike Evans is 32 going on 33, correct me if I'm wrong. And he is coming off probably his most injury-riddled season in a while. Obviously, he was dealing with that hamstring all of last year. Missed about half of the year because of it. So that's the only thing that worries me about this. But if he is healthy, I know that Kyle Shanahan can get the most out of Mike Evans.
Yeah.
And really just be that guy for Brock Purdy, because I feel like that's what we were missing this year. Obviously, we traded away Debo, and then Ayuk was hurt all year and didn't come back, even though he should have. So he was just missing that outlet.
Yeah.
And while Jawan Jennings was really good when Brandon Ayuk went down the year prior, those last remaining games, he was really good. You just can't expect that to sustain for Jawan Jennings. And I think that's what happened. And so it kind of just fell flat. And we relied heavily on Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. These guys that are good in the pass catching game, but also, have strengths elsewhere. And so it kind of just put too much of a burden on them. So having this safety blanket in Mike Evans and, a guy who you could say, he's down there somewhere and just throw it to him.
Yeah.
That's really nice. So, as long as he can stay healthy, though, because we know what happens in San Francisco.
Well, I mean, you guys do practice that. What is it? A power plant?
Yep. Right next to a power plant. Yep.
He's going to walk on that field and boom goes the dynamite. You know what I mean?
Yep. And the batteries are going to explode his legs. That's what's going to happen. Yep.
D, let me ask you something. How do you feel about Tua to Atlanta? Because I think it's a lateral move. I mean, maybe you try something new, right? Kevin Stefanski is brought in for Atlanta, and you bring in Tua, and maybe you can make something shake. I mean, obviously they got a bunch of weapons down there, whether it's Drake London or whether it's Bijan Robinson, whether it's Kyle Pitts. You got a bunch of guys that can go make plays down there. But the problem is, D-Lo, the problem was never the weapons around Tua. It was, hey, Tua, you should probably throw to the guy that has the same uniform on that you do. And maybe that will score more points. So what do you think of Tua to Atlanta? Because again, apparently they have an affinity for lefty quarterbacks, whatever is going on there. What are the chances you think Tua could have success in Atlanta with the Falcons?
I don't. I don't. I don't think that he's much of an improvement over Kirk Cousins, who they let go. To be honest with you, if at all. He's got this concussion problem. He's had it for a while, and then last year he was healthy, but then he was god awful. Yeah. So, part of that is just not fixable. Because when you look at them, they're similarly constructed. Obviously, the Dolphins didn't have Tyreek Hill because he went out week 1 or week 2 or whatever it was, but they had Jalen Waddle and they have Devon Achane. And then you go to Atlanta and you have, Drake London and you have Bijan Robinson.
Yep.
Now, is Bijan Robinson and Drake London better than the duo in Miami? Yeah, probably. But is it that much of a jump to where I think Tua is going to, turn ship around? No. Now, maybe Kevin Stefanski is the one that gets it out of him. I don't know, because we all know that Kevin Stefanski is a offensive minded coach, but he also had Mike McDaniel
There it is. Bingo.
in Miami, and that didn't really work. So I don't expect this to work out. I would have rather seen them take a different direction on a guy like maybe Kyler. We were talking about it pre-show, maybe even Malik. I would have rather seen. I'm not a believer in Tua.
The only thing, and the only way I see this working out at all, D'Lo, is because that division that they play in is horrible. I mean, the division winner went 8-9 this past year. 8-9.
To be fair though, Carolina was fun to watch.
They were.
Carolina
Absolutely.
was fun to watch, and they were pretty good towards the end of the year.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, hey, you know what? Carolina was one of the 3 Cardinal wins. So how did them apples taste, Bryce Young?
Listen, they almost beat the Rams, who almost beat the Super Bowl champs. So put that into perspective for what you will. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just the messenger. All right.
But that division is horrible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they don't. You don't need to win 11, 12, 13 games like you do if you're in the NFC West.
It's the worst division in football.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's either them or the AFC South.
Yeah. And I might give it to Yeah,
but even the AFC South is good now because you have Houston, you have Jacksonville, who's really, really good now. I think Tennessee is going to be a lot better this year. They made some moves. They got Alontae Taylor, went out and got Wan'Dale Robinson, the receiver, got him a weapon, get Cam Ward a weapon. But I think that's the only positive I can see for this team, D'Lo, is maybe Tua goes down there and he wins a few extra games. But again, 1, he has to stay on the field, and 2, he has to be productive. If those 2 things don't happen, this signing is a waste of time and a waste of money.
But to be fair, I'm pretty sure they got him for pretty cheap.
They did. And I don't know.
It kind of helps that Miami is taking the biggest cap hit of any wave ever.
Yeah.
Kind of helps in that case. But
yeah, I don't know. Especially with the draft next year, D'Lo, and how loaded it's supposed to be with the Arch Mannings and the Lenora Sellers, and I believe Julian Sand could also come out next year, and how loaded that quarterback draft could be next year. It's gonna be. The Falcons are also if they win 6-7 games, D'Lo, if they're what are you gonna be in? Well, that's a great point. But you're not going to be in line to take one of those top quarterbacks coming out of the draft next year. So are you going to pay Tua again? Are you going to go back to Michael Penix?
Well, I think the thing is that if you're Atlanta, you're kind of expecting a Miami Dolphin Tua, in which case, you are going to win 3 games.
Yeah. And then you'll be in line to be a top 3 pick.
The other problem is that even if Tua plays awful, I think that they still have enough weapons to go out and win more than 3 games. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, no, Bijan Robinson himself, I think, can go out and win you 2 or 3 games. And then the defense, I think, can go out and win you 1 or 2 games. So I think they get a minimum of like 4 or 5 wins this year.
Just off talent alone.
Just off talent alone.
Yeah.
Quarterback play is what's holding them back.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If they get mediocre quarterback play deal, they could win 10 games. They could win 10 games.
Okay.
Okay, real quick before we talk about the still available free agents, talk to me about Malik Willis and going to Miami. They're obviously him playing in 6 games this past year in Green Bay while Jordan Love was hurt. He looked really good, D'Lo. He looked really good, but it was only 6 games. And so him going to Miami, and I believe they gave him 22 a year. 20 a year, something along those lines. And they gave him for 3 years. So Miami's kind of putting their chips in on Malik Willis being their franchise guy for the next 3 years. Obviously, their new head coach, Jeff Hafley, was the defensive coordinator over there in Green Bay last year. So he was very familiar with Malik Willis as he had to go up against him and practice a whole lot. But could this be a franchise-altering move for the Dolphins? Do you think Malik Willis can go be a franchise quarterback in Miami?
No, I don't. No, not at all. And the fact that they are giving him $45 million guaranteed just shows how bad the Dolphins organization is at this point.
Guaranteed, D-Lo.
Guaranteed $45 million is insane, by the way. But when you look at it, the Dolphins really just don't have anything. We were talking about it before the show started, but they traded Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
Tyreek Hill has said that he wanted out. So what are you left with? You have Jalen Waddle and Devon Achane.
Yeah.
And the problem with Jalen Waddle is that I don't think a lot of people have been super high on Jalen Waddle. As we all thought that he would be like a lot better than what he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when you look at it, I think from that perspective, I think Devon Achane is really the only bright spot in this Dolphins team, which is sad to say.
It's really bad because Miami's at a point, D-Lo, in which they just need they need to take some sort of risk and for it to work out. And I think they're hoping that Malik Willis is that risk. And they, okay, you know what? We'll give this guy $20 million a year. He looked good. He looked pretty good in Green Bay last year. You know, maybe he just needs a chance. Maybe he needs an opportunity to go shine. And the Dolphins at this point in time are just like, hey, you know what? We got to try something. We got to try something.
Maybe that's the case. I mean, maybe. I mean, worst case, you luck out and he isn't that great, which I don't think that he is, and you go out and you get a quarterback in the draft next year. I mean, realistically, I guess it's fine, but the Dolphins just have a lot of money designated in things that they should not have designated. Yeah. One of which, obviously, I mentioned Tua, biggest cap hit. What are you doing? You shouldn't have paid Tua in the first place. I don't know what the Dolphins saw out of Tua to convince them that they needed to pay Tua that much money.
Well, they saw what Tua sees on the field.
Nothing. Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah.
They didn't see anything in Tua, but they're just like, yeah, let's just give him money anyway. Mike McDaniel likes him. Like I don't know what it was. And it's just, I don't know how you come back from this. If you're the Dolphins, I feel like you just need value anywhere, like literally anything. You need something. And Devon Achane is that, but you can't get it done with a running back. Like a running back himself is not going to go out and win you a division. They're not going to make you a wild card team.
No. Especially in that division with the Patriots who just went to the Super Bowl and the Bills who have one of the best players in football at their quarterback.
Yep.
It's going to be tough for them to make any noise.
So I don't know.
The Dolphins are also like one of those franchises where it's just laughable.
They might be worse than the Raiders. They might be worse than the Raiders.
It's close, D-Lo. It's neck and neck. It's neck and neck.
Because at least the Raiders are trying to improve. The Dolphins are not. They're just there.
They just exist, D-Lo.
Gotta find my way to